Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. Hope everyone is doing all right. I'm gonna wait for a few more to get in here, so let's hold on for a few seconds. All right, looks like everybody's in here. So once again, good morning. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's ready for a great semester. Sorry for running a few minutes behind. Zoom decided they wanted to update right when I was trying to get in here. So, technology, right? So this is, it should be Math 245, right? Statistics. Okay, yep. And as you know, hopefully, but I'm assuming you did see my emails because you were able to get this Zoom link. Um, which this class will be virtual throughout the whole semester, and which is fine because if you saw the emails from the president, everybody's virtual for the first couple weeks or so anyway. So at least there's nothing that we have to adjust later on or anything like that. But yep, we will be virtual all throughout the semester, and we will be learning whenever we do our lectures. I would do something like this. I would share my screen and I'll be lecturing and talking real time in this way using this notepad. So just show you how we will be doing it. So this virtual experience will be the same experience that you would receive during the classroom. I'll be talking, I will be writing on the board, you'll be writing down whatever you decide to write down. From what I write on the board, you'll be able to ask questions real time. Yeah, so it would be the same experience. It's just that I'm in my room and you're in your room. So it's not learning online, it's learning virtually. Learning online means that I would be just shooting you a bunch of information, maybe shooting you videos, and then that's that. You have a bunch of supplemental information. Then you wouldn't have to meet with me regularly. But learning virtually means we would meet at our regularly scheduled class times. I would lecture, and you guys would be able to ask questions. All right, can't hear you. Okay, thumbs up. I see a few people that have cameras on. Can you hear me? Okay, I see somebody said they can hear me. Okay, cool. So, yeah, check your settings. That I don't think that's me though. I don't think that's me. Yeah, other people are saying they can hear me. So, okay, cool. Yep. So let's see. Yeah, if you ever having any issues or anything, always feel free to either type in the chat or unmute, and I'll most definitely try to make sure you're straight going forward. All right. So that's course descriptions. Okay, so going back to the emails, I will communicate with you guys, of course, through email. Any email I send to you will always be archived in Canvas. So let's go to Canvas. So let's say if by some chance you haven't heard from me in a while, you want to know if I've sent anything, then you would just go to your Canvas announcements. And any email that I've sent will be here. I will always do that for every email that I send to the class, not individual emails, of course, but any email that I send to the class, I will archive them here in Canvas announcements. Okay, so even if, like I said, so if you haven't heard from me in a while and you want to know if I have sent anything, always go here to Canvas announcements and you'll see the emails that I've sent. All right, any questions on that? Very good. All right. So let's hit that third email that I sent out to you guys, required access or required materials, Math Lab access. So like I mentioned in the email, you do not have to purchase a textbook, but you do need to purchase access to Math Lab. You can do that through TCC's Barnes and Noble, or you can actually purchase it through the course as well. So say something in chat. Yep, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Thanks for letting me know. So, and going back to that, before I go any further, yep, I'm gonna get there in a second. I'll get there in a second. So going back to, if you ever miss class or if you're running late, I'm gonna record every lecture and I will post them. So I'll post them by the end of the week. I may not post it that day, depending on how my schedule flows, but I will post them by the end of the week. Most of the time it's on a Friday or Thursday night. Yeah, so anything that you guys may miss, having any issues with attendance or anything like that, you can always look at the video of the lecture later on. So I'll do the same thing for this one, even though it's an intro day. But yep. So going to registering for the course, notice I give you instructions down here. You go to Math Lab, we'll do that in a second. Hit register now. You use the course ID. This is your specific course ID for this course. Somebody's coming in. And then you have one of three options. So if you purchase the access code through an outside source, let's say Barnes and Nobles, maybe you got it off Amazon, maybe you got it from a friend. Let me say this too. You can't share codes. So if you get it from a friend and they've used it and then you try to use it, it won't work. Or if you use it before your friend used it, now you got it and your friend does not. So if you purchased it from your friend, make sure it hasn't been used. But that's what I mean by getting the access code from an outside source. But if you, well, let me say this, if you got it from the outside source, then you will be able to input the access code. If you have not purchased the access code from an outside source, but you want to purchase access, you can buy access through Pearson and they wouldn't give you access code. It would just give you access. So if you're already in the shell and you don't have an outside code and you just want to purchase access, you can buy access through Pearson itself. And so that's what we mean by purchase access. And then from there, if you don't want to do either one of them right now, you do have the option of doing a 14-day free pass, which would be a small link, a small sentence at the bottom of your screen. You can click on it and it would just give you access for 14 days. All right, questions on that registration process before we go to the website itself? All right, well, as a matter of fact, before we go to the website, let's look at that fourth email. So Math Lab specifics. So just basically telling you how we will be using Math Lab throughout the semester. So once again, you cannot purchase access, or not cannot purchase access, you cannot pass the class without access to Math Lab. All of your assignments and tests will be generated through Math Lab. So of course, if you don't have access to Math Lab, then you don't have access to any of your assignments. So you must participate in Math Lab weekly so that your attendance can be confirmed. So remember I mentioned that it is possible for you to miss class and still have access to the lecture. And I don't mind that, but there's no way for me to count you as being here if you miss class and then review the lecture later on. So the way I can count you being here is by looking at Math Lab and see your attendance there. So it is possible for you to miss 2 weeks of class, but still be counted as attended because you went and did work in Math Lab. So that's how I'm using Math Lab. So it is possible, let's say like today, I had a few people that came in late through Zoom. It would be hard for me to go back and look at and find who, because I now have a long list of students who's not here, who was here and all the stuff like that. So the way I will most definitely solidify your attendance is through your activity in Math Lab. So once again, Math Lab solidifies your participation in your activity in the class. So when I have to go do drops, because financial aid is real big on drops. If nothing else, let's say you've been having issues getting to class. If nothing else, just go in there, go into a homework, save it, come out of the homework, and that will give you timestamp activity for the week. So if nothing else, do that. If you've just been having issues, at least go in there and put a timestamp on your activity. And that will let me know that you're still around. So don't forget, well, I said don't forget. Just to let you know, I have people that just fall off the face of the earth every semester. You know, they stop coming to class, they don't tell me anything, they don't email me, they don't do anything, they don't withdraw. So in order for me to not think you're one of those people, then I need you to do stuff like that or communicate, email me, something. So, you know, I won't have to give you an F. All right, see somebody says something in the chat. Yep, just reach out. Just reach out in some fashion. You don't have to tell me deep, intimate details about anything that you're going through, but at least let me know that you're still out there, you're trying to make it work. If there's any type of extensions or anything I need to grant, you know, let me know so we can work it out. Yes, by email. And before, if you don't have my email address before the classes out, I'll write it on the screen so you guys can write it down. It's just vtucker@tcc.edu. Or you can communicate to me through Canvas, which is it goes straight to my email as well. So either way. All right. I just mentioned it about attendance. Okay, so now for homework, notice here you have unlimited amount of attempts to get the best grade possible in your homework assignments. All right, so unlimited amount of attempts. So with unlimited amount of attempts, that means you know that there's no such thing as unlimited amount of problems. So with unlimited amount of attempts, I do expect you just to reach out to try to score at least a 75 or better on all of your homeworks. Okay, so notice how I will be looking at your grading. 75 to 84.9 is the 90% in my grade book. 85 to 100, then you'll get 100%. Okay. Test reviews for every test, and I'll show you in a second, you know, how everything look if you haven't been in Math Lab yet. Test reviews are not mandatory. But if you score 85 or better on your test review, then I will add 5 points to that respective test. So test review 1 or test review 2, then that 5 points will go to test 2, you know. But once again, they're not mandatory, but I would suggest you at least take a look at them because it will set you up for the test, let you know what to study for. Test reviews are very similar to the test themselves. So it'll let you know what to study for and what you need to be looking forward to when you jump into the test. Because unlike your homework tests, you only get 2 attempts. All right, because trying to simulate the test process. Now your tests are not timed, but you only have 2 attempts to get your the best score possible in tests. Yes. Yep. Be bonus to your test. Yep. All right. And so test attempts, 2 attempts. So now also, what was I saying about the tests? They're not proctored, but we will be, well, I won't say they're not proctored. The first 1 or 2 will not be proctored. That means you can do on your own. Your final exam most definitely will be proctored. That means we would come into the Zoom. I'll be sitting here. You'll have a certain amount of time to do it. Just like a real test scenario. I'll give you more details on that and how we will handle it. But just let you know, there will be proctored tests. Your first couple are not proctored though. When you'll see in a second when we get in there. Any scratch work for tests. Make sure you send it to me. I do not need scratch work for homeworks, but any scratch work for your tests, make sure you email me a copy of that. All right, and you can just take a picture of it with your phone. If you have a scanner, you can scan it. Whatever way works, it's not that big a deal. Questions on any of these before we go to Math Lab itself? Everybody good? Everybody straight? Okay. All right, so like I mentioned before, the website, mymathlab.com. It'll take you to the Pearson website. So as far as registering, you guys will click register now as a student. Okay. And that course ID, here's the shell right here, now 245. And so if you already have a Math Lab or Pearson account, you can go ahead and sign in, but if not, you hit create, and then they'll ask for your information so you can create an account. All right, questions on registering, everybody good? All right, so let's go. You guys, of course, wouldn't have all of these. These are for all my courses. So where is it? So you can either click on homework and go all of your homework assignments for the whole semester. So you do have the luxury of moving ahead if you like. Oh, I didn't change the due dates. I'll change that before the day is out. I'll probably do it before we leave here today. And then your test. Now I need to, yep. So I need to change the due dates. I'll do that real quick. But all of your assignments will be available to you. So let's go in there. Let's do test assignment 3. Okay. Yeah, try it out and see, Mr. Alex. I'm not sure if you have to, they said my laptop, transfer OTs. Now you will have to buy another code if the book is different. So you're probably gonna have to buy another code anyway, but your old account should be fine to use, you know, whatever email address and stuff, that should be fine. But yeah, but if you switch books, then yeah, they're gonna make you purchase the code. Yep. All right, so just showing you guys how it worked. Now the ones before, just definition based, you know, clicking the answer. So I was just talking about, notice they only give you, but this might give you more than one. Give you a hint. They only give you 2 options, 2 chances to get the answer correct. So depending on the type of complexity the problem have, it'll let you know how many times you get a chance to get the answer correct. So here, check answer to give you a little bit of a hint. A little bit of a hint. So notice they give you 3. The amount of times they give you a chance, the most amount of times they give you to get the answer correct will be 3. Like you said, like I just showed you before, sometimes they give you 2. If it's true, false, I think they only give you 1. But if you get it wrong, notice they're okay. This one not done. Hold on a second. Just throwing anything in there. All right, so notice here, you can go to the next question, or you can hit similar question that will reset this problem. And remember, I told you have unlimited amount of tries to get the best grade possible. So if you click here, it lets you know you got this wrong. If you had gotten it right, you would have got a green check. If you got 1 right and 1 wrong within the question, it would have been a green check / red X, letting you know you got part of it right. So and then once you get it all the way right, it'll just turn to a green check like you never got it wrong. All right, and then your points will be accumulated, of course. Right here, similar question. Let's say if you didn't do the problem right then when they ask you, you can hit right here, similar question at the bottom of the screen, and that'll reset the problem as if you never got it wrong. Of course, give you different numbers though. It'll give you different numbers. So now your help tools are down here. Help me solve this is going to, hold on. Yeah, help me solve this will allow you to do this problem. It will do it step by step. Most people don't do help me solve this because it does the problem that you're dealing with. So unless you're just frustrated and you're done with that problem, you wouldn't help me solve this, because it will solve this problem and then reset it and you have to try another problem. Most people do view an example wherein it gives a problem that's very similar to it and walks through that problem. And then from there, you can close it out and then attack the problem that you were looking at. So most of the time people hit view an example. Sometimes people print out, you know, the content of view an example and stuff like that as well. But it should be able to be done. It used to be, let me see. I need to check that. It used to be able to be printed out. Get more help. That's my structure. So I'll check that. You used to be able to print out. They help me solve this stuff. I know you can print this, but that's something to play with. Then here, get more help. You can click a video. Some of them will have videos, extra videos. Now that video is not me. We'll have videos that Pearson have brought in instructors, and that will be, you know, to talk about that problem. Then just click on textbook. It will take you to where the problem is discussed in the book. And then StatCrunch is their version of Excel. You know, you can use that, or you can shoot me an email. Sometimes I don't get these for some reason. So if I don't respond or haven't responded and you use Ask My Instructor, make sure you email me, you know, individual, you know, outside of Pearson. Every now and then I would have a student say that they did Ask My Instructor and I didn't get it, but I do, normally I do get them. So, Questions on your tools down here. Very good. Okay. Questions on how MathLab works. Very good. That's straight. All right, so let's look at due dates. Normally the way I do my statistics class is I just give you a solid due date at the end of the semester. Come on. So our last day of class is May 2nd. So I put April 29th. We'll talk about that date as we get closer to it. What our actual last day of class is. So in SIS is May 2nd, but that's a Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. Yeah. So our probably last day to submit assignments, because we would have taken our final exam. I'm not gonna do the final exam on that Monday. So we'll probably do all the way till May 1st. So I'll probably change this date to May 1st, and that'll be a Sunday. And then your grades on May 2nd. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that, as we get closer to it. But yeah, I'll change all of these due dates to May 1st. So what that does is give room for life to happen. You don't necessarily have to ask for an extension. Giving you all the time that I can for everything. Now, if you're a professional procrastinator, of course, you don't want to sit back and wait until April 20th to start working on this stuff. But you do have a lot of room to get your work done. But if you wanted to be more proactive, you have a lot of room to go move ahead as well. Nothing is blocking you from being in chapter 3 by next week. I'm just, just throwing something crazy out there. So you do want to move accordingly. If you want to know if you're behind or not, pay attention to the lectures. As we progress throughout the course, that's where you should be at. So, when we get, let's say if we're in chapter 4, but you're still in chapter 2 with your work, then you're behind. So you want to pace yourself according to the lectures. All right, let's see. Yep, you can work ahead as much as you like. I do not have a problem with that at all. Yep. Not a problem. So once again, any questions about being behind or anything like that, like I said, and then every now and then I'll let you know, hey, you guys, for those of you behind, you should be at this point right now. Every now and then I'll throw that out there. But the way you can do that without even hearing me say anything is by our actions. If we're in chapter 5, you're still in chapter 3, then you're behind. Everything should be paced according to the lectures. I'm not going to hold you responsible. We are going to cover all this stuff, but let's say craziness happens and we only get to chapter 8, then that's what I will hold you responsible for. As far as lectures are concerned, that's what I will hold you responsible for. But we should be able to get to everything though. I'll cut back on, like if you look here, we're only doing 2 sections in chapter 8, 2 sections in chapter 7. Like I cut back so that we will be able to get to, all the content. All right. Oh yeah. If someone's asking me a question directly, so everybody can't see the question. So, it's asking a question about if life happens, will I understand? Most definitely. So what we would do is work it out and figure out what we can do to make sure that now, if you're talking about life happening throughout the semester and you're behind, just get caught up. That's why I give you this due date all the way out in May. So just get caught up. You really don't have to try to ask for an extension, because May 1st is all I got. So if it's in the middle of February and you're behind, it's no big deal. Just get caught up. And like I said before, though, let me know if you're having some situations, so that just so I know, and and it's resonating in my mind, I won't be looking to drop you or anything like that. But just let me know. We'll talk it out. Again, this occur at any time this semester. Yeah, but let me know something though, so we can talk it out and see what we can do. Yeah, any extreme weird circumstances occur, just shoot me that email, and we may even need to set up a Zoom session to have a conversation, a legit conversation. But yeah, every situation is different, so we will handle it, as such. So yep. Let's see what else. And let's look at your test. I know for a fact your first test will be on chapter 1, chapter 2. Now, chapter 1, chapter 2's assignments are basically definitions and graphs. So that will most definitely, I think, yep, I'll do chapter. So your first 2 tests, and I need to understand all of these because all of them are not going to necessarily be that. And like I said, I forgot to do it last night, so I might as well just do it while I'm right here. All right, so let's go back here so I can make sure you guys see this as well. So we have homework. Let's say you're in this homework tab and don't know you're in the homework tab. This is the homework tab. Now you can click on all assignments and it'll let you see everything. Notice now the tests are up there. Test review, tests. Or you can just click on quizzes and tests. And there you go. Your first 2 tests are right here. Notice your attempts, 0 out of 2. These down here, you do not do. Notice it says sample, tests, and quizzes. I can't delete them. That's just something that my math lab has there. But you don't go under here, sample, tests, and quizzes. Mine are right here. All right. So once again, let's say you're in your assignments, you don't recognize that you're in your homework and you don't see anything as far as your tests are concerned. Only reason I'm bringing to your attention is because I've had people to go throughout the semester and not do any tests. But even though I mentioned tests, and I've been mentioning tests throughout the whole semester, this tab right here changes your category. Excuse me, either have it on all assignments or tests and quizzes and stuff like that. All right. All right, I'm gonna get there in a second. Give me 1 second on that. Okay, I'm confused. Will test cover a couple of chapters not in the bundles? Sample test 1. Okay. I'll get to that assignment thing in a second. Okay, so now your tests are on, it'll give you the categories that are on like this. So normally I do 2 chapters per test. So test 1 will be 1, 2, test 2 will be 3, 4, test 3 will be 5, 6, test 4 will be 7, 8, and then your final exam will be accumulation of everything. So that's how your test will be set up. All right. Okay, not a problem, not a problem. Now your assignments. Someone asked about these assignments on the side. Oh, didn't mean to go that far. All right, so as we go throughout the course, if I want to give you guys practice, that's when I will go to these assignments. Normally I only do 1 and 2 and 3, just to get you guys in the flow of doing the problems. We're probably gonna do them, but we wouldn't talk about those the first assignments not until chapter 3. Basically just 4 odd problems, making sure you know how to do the assignment, make sure you know how to do the work. They're odd problems so that you can check the answer in the back. So once you do the problem, if you cannot figure out how to get the answer in the back, then you need to get with me. And that's what these were for, just checkpoints. Like assignment 2 is just a couple of problems in chapter 4. And so, yeah. Yes, so you can do the test whenever you want. Yep. Now these assignments, going back to these assignments, they will have a date because that's my checkpoint for you guys to make sure you know what you're doing. So when I do these assignments and say, okay, assignment 1 will be due on such as it probably give you a week. If it's on a Monday, by next Monday. So that you guys can go in there and make an attempt at these problems so we can see if we need to go over something else. So these assignments that are here on the side, when I do assign them, I will be expecting you to do those within a certain amount of time. But they are not your math lab, homework. Your math lab homework and tests, if it pop up, that due date, there we go right here. It's 5/1. All right. Also, if you ask me how you're doing in the class, but you haven't done many assignments, it's hard for me to, assess that. So always make sure you have something for me to look at in order for me to be able to give you an assessment. The only reason I say that is because somebody will ask how they're doing in class and haven't done any tests. And it's the middle of the semester, you haven't done any tests. But it's just like, those zeros, if you want me to be honest. So don't forget, anything you do not do is a zero. And zeros are hard to bring up. Now, the way my class is set up, I don't know if you noticed, my class is easy to pass with a C if you do everything you're supposed to do. Because I'm going to have, and I'm going to talk about these definitions in a second. I'm going to have assignments, definitions. In the past, we've been done early, so then I will give you videos that you can go look at and just get an easy grade on it. Where people mess up a lot in my class is that they don't do their work. And I cannot erase zeros. So if you don't do a test, that's a 0 for a test grade. And I don't know if you ever been showed this, but it takes 3 100s to bring up 1 0 to a 75. So zeros are very important. You don't want zeros in your homeworks. And if you don't do anything, someone's asking if you don't do anything. Yeah, if you don't do anything, it's a 0, and I have to count it against you. So where a lot of people make a mistake is that they don't do the work. So yeah, if you stay on top of this stuff, and also Math Lab was not made to be done in a weekend. So if you get behind, you don't want to say, okay, I'm gonna take this date. Now, many have tried and many have failed. Some people do get it done though. But what often happens is that they'll set aside Saturday to do this work. And then next thing you know, or let me say, they set aside Saturday, they send the kids away, they get the day off from work. Next thing you know, they get called in, oh, the dog got to go to the vet. You're like, anything that could happen happens. And then that day that they set aside to do the work has been destroyed. So lower the grade plan. Yep, just plan accordingly. And yeah, if you stay on top of this stuff, like today, I'm going to tell you about these definitions. Don't wait until next week to do them. Just go ahead and get in there and start knocking this stuff out now. Chapter 1, chapter 2 are basically, like I was mentioning before, are definition based and definition driven. And so you want to go ahead and knock out chapter 1 and chapter 2 as soon as possible. So it's not just lingering out there when we get into the real lecture. So chapter 1, chapter 2, I do not do a full lecture on. Next class, we will get into chapter 2, a few things that people have asked about in the past, but it'll be a very short lecture. I do not lecture on chapter 1, chapter 2, because like I said, it's about definitions. So I would be sitting here writing definitions and you would just be copying them. And so to prevent that rigor or that situation of you going to sleep while I'm writing and possibly me going to sleep as well, I have these definitions right here that today is Monday. I'll give you till next Wednesday to do, and I'll write this down in a second, till next Wednesday to submit them. And definitions 1 and definitions 2. Also notice definitions 2 is only 14, it's only one page, but definitions 1, if I can click the right button, is 3 pages. So make sure you see all of them, because some people have made the mistake of submitting just the first page of chapter 1, but chapter 1 is actually 3 pages. Chapter 2, once again, is just 1 page.
Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
How do we submit the definitions?
I'm gonna get there, man. No, just messing with you. But yeah. So great question. It's up to you how you want to submit it. So you can either print out this page and write it out, or if you want to download it and then type it out, it's up to you. But you would just send me a copy of whatever it is that you do. So if you write it out, then you'll have to take a picture with your phone or scan it. If you download it and then just type it in Word, then you would just send it to me, a Word document to me through email. Yep. That answer your question? Was that good, Ms. Nigel?
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. And did I say that right, Nigel?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, try to make sure I get names right when I have the opportunity. So yeah, so that's how you would submit definitions. Like I said, I'll go back to the due date in a second, but questions on submitting your definitions. Everybody good? I saw somebody in the chat said, so yeah, yep. Chapters 1 and 2 are just basically introduction. Statistics has its own language. And I found that if I put you in a position to at least be familiarized with the terms, it sets you up with a better foundation moving forward. Let's see. Okay, yeah, if you have accommodations, make sure you get with disability services so they'll send you that sheet and then you'll email me that sheet. And then you get to go as far as accommodations are concerned. Yep. Let's see. Anything else? Yep, not a problem. Anything else on those definitions or assignments? Anything I've said? Anything, anybody? Everybody good? Everybody straight? Okay, let me see, make sure I got everything. Oh, haven't established office hours yet because classes are being dropped and repopulated and all the good stuff like that. So I will send you office hours at some point. Office hours, once again, is going to be handled just like class. It'll be through Zoom. Only thing I ask about office hours is make sure that you bring your questions to class. So what I mean by that is don't come to class and say, I have a question on standard deviation. Well, what is your question? You know what I mean? Don't come with a general question. Go into math lab, look at a problem. If you cannot do it, bring that problem to the session so we can streamline our time, make better use of our time. And it's not like we're trying to fish for things to do. If you go ahead and do your due diligence, go into your assignments. If problem one, you're stuck on problem one, then bring problem one to the class. I mean to the office hour, and then we will address problem one. Because when it comes to your getting help, when it comes to math, I can pick out 4 or 5 problems and it still may not address the issue that you had. So make sure you bring that problem. You said come up with a question. No. You wouldn't make up the question. You would go into math lab. Remember, you have your assignments. And if you have a problem, let's say you got stuck on number 3, then bring number 3 to office hours, or bring or email me and say, I'm having a problem with number 3. And can you help me with it? Can you explain it to me through email? Something like that. So that's what I mean by that. Yeah. So you don't have to make up nothing. I most definitely would make you do that. But make sure you bring the problem that addresses your issue so that we can go ahead and do that. And so if you have more than one problem, then bring more than one problem. So it's not a problem with you bringing problems. The problem is when you just make a general statement and we don't have a problem. You know what I mean? So that, and then because when it comes to my office hours, you may not be the only one there. So, that's why I was saying that, just bring the problem so we can just streamline, then we'll rotate on who I talk to and everything like that. Of course, about definition, are we just looking for the definition of in our textbook? Oh, great question. Great question. Oh, issues. Okay, great question. I'm glad you asked that. All right. So one of your classmates asked about where you get the definitions from. Forgot to mention that. And I'm glad he took me back there. So let me see. Where is it? I'm looking for something else. Chapter 1 definition, study plan. Why don't I see what I'm looking for? Oh, that's because it's down here. All right, so right here, see how, let me push the button. See how it has chapter contents and e-text. Either one of those will take you to your textbook. And so I do want you to use the definitions that are in the text. That would be the easiest way to do this, and you'll see why in a second. So if you chapter contents, it breaks it up this way. This takes a little bit to log up. All right, so this is an exact copy of your text, just that it's an e-text. Is it right here? Table of contents. There's a place that you can type pages. Okay, here you go. If you want, you can type page numbers right here and stuff. And you want to go like page 1 and stuff, you can type that. This and then take me to page 4. So that's the way to navigate through it if you didn't want to start there, but let me go back to page 1 though. And so down here, you see you can click page 1 or go here to page 4. This is page 3. So this is the first page of chapter 1's content. So notice you have statistics right here. And so all of your definitions are going to be bolded in some way, whether it be in a green box like this or just bolded within a sentence. And they're all in order. So it wasn't made to be a hard assignment, but it's given in order. And in other words, if you do statistics and then let's say, we see how all of these are in order, but let's just say by some chance you get down here to variables. So you got statistics and variables, then you have a whole bunch of definitions between, you missed something. So you just flip back through the pages. So everything's bolded, everything's in order, and it's all in your textbook. All right. Mr. Kirk, hopefully that answered your question. Let me know if it didn't. So this is, so the definition chapter 1, chapter 2 are different than the first test, which include chapter 1, chapter 2. No, now the content that you're getting from your definitions will be on your test as well. So that's why if you look, I didn't do really a test review on it, because how many different ways are they going to ask you what is what is statistics or whatever. But your definitions will set you up for that test. Yeah, all of it the same stuff. All of it the same stuff. Let me go back here. Okay, so going back here. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. So sorry, did you say that the e-test will be available even with buying the course through Pearson, or do you only get the test book? Your e-text is available once you purchase access. Your e-text is available. Now for the 14-day free pass, your e-text is available as well. But after 14 days, you will be locked out. You will not lose any progress at all. Just that you won't be able to get access until you pay for the access. I will still be able to see what you've done, but you won't have access to it. All right. You said first test due next week. Nope, first test is due May 1st, actually. You just don't want to wait till May 1st to do it. So if you really want to be technical, nothing is due till May 1st. Now, once again, though, you do have to show activity. So now you can be dropped if you're not showing activity. You see what I'm saying? So remember, I'm solidifying your activity through Math Lab. So I do expect you to be active, because remember, you're supposed to be doing this work as we progress throughout the course. A due date in the future just gives room for life to happen, and you don't have to ask me for an extension. But it does not mean I don't expect you to be doing work as we progress throughout the course. Yeah. I'm going to write this out in 1 second. Yep, but you're absolutely correct. Because I'm giving it to you now. They are due next week. You can I can monitor your math lab work. Yep, not a problem. So let's do this. Let's go to the notes. Oh, why is this not? There we go. Okay. So let's look at our first set of. Oh, got a meeting coming up. First set of due dates. So yeah, definitions 1 and 2 are due next Wednesday. So that is 119. Now, as I've mentioned already, if you have any issues with anything, don't just take a 0. Talk to me. Just let me know. It's not that big a deal. If you need another day, if you need another couple days. I had a couple people email me about new babies. Just talk to me. Just don't take a 0. All right. But that's just the general due date for the class 119. That's next Wednesday. Once again, all of those problems are in all those definitions are in your textbook. Right. Don't hesitate to email me. It's not a problem. And also give me a day or two to get to it. Normally, if I'm right there on my computer, I'll just answer you. But no, we have 24 to 48 hours to get back with you. So just give me a chance, but we'll work it out regardless. Let's see. Chapter 1 and 2 math lab work. That's really not due till 5-1. You just don't want to wait till 5-1 to do it, because eventually we'll be in chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. Now you're having a multitude of assignments that are actually looked upon as being, behind. You know what I mean? Because like I said, even though it's not due, you're behind. So so make sure you're on top of that. Let's see, anything else that is due? I think that's it. Oh yeah, test. We're talking about the test. And then test 1, which is on chapter 1, chapter 2, that's in math lab. And that is the same due date, 5-1. Once again, you just don't want to be in the end of April still looking at chapter 1, chapter two's content. Really, if you want to be safe, you want to be out of chapter 1 and chapter 2 completely by the end of the month, I would think. And because we're going to, like I said, next class, we're going to talk a little bit about a few things in chapter 2, just things that people have asked me about in chapter 2. But then after that, remember I said there's no lecture for chapter 1, chapter 2, because it's just graphs and definitions. And I'm pretty sure y'all don't want me up here drawing these bar graphs. It will be a problem with my drawing skills. So, but if you have any questions on anything out of chapter 1, chapter 2, or anything like that, just ask, whether it be during class time or email or in the office hours once I have them set up. So next Monday, we're going to start lecture on chapter 3, because that's where real content actually starts. Um, as we progress throughout the course, I will pull back on some days and not fill up. My goal is not to fill up the whole class with a lecture. You will have the opportunity to ask questions, but I'm not trying to talk to you throughout the whole class. We have an hour and 15 minutes, I believe, an hour and 15 minutes for this class. I don't have to talk to you for an hour and 15 minutes in order to get my point across of about what you guys need to, get done for that day. So that means if we let out class early, you do have till the end of class to ask whatever questions you want. Just because I say, okay, I'm done with lecturing, that does not mean you have to leave if you have questions. Just want to make sure we're clear and everybody hear that. So if I'm done with lecturing, but you have a question, you can ask your question. But if I'm done and you're done, you can leave. Like that's just how it works. And most of the time, most people, are done and this class is over. Yep, sticking around for questions is not a problem at all. Yep. All right. Any questions on that? Is everybody good? All right. So yep. Questions on due dates, questions on anything. Like I said, chapter 3, we're going to start next Monday. Next Monday. And we'll probably do sections 1 and 2. Once again, that lecture is not going to fill up the class period. So really trying to give you room to knock out chapter 1 and chapter 2 before we get too content heavy with chapter 3. And yeah, and we'll go from there. And you'll notice also that this material, the way it's set up, we will be in chapter 5 before you know it. And that's why I say I'm going to try to pull back and make sure we're okay. So what I mean by that, chapter 3 is only 4 sections. Monday we do 3-1 and 3-2. Wednesday we do 3-3. Nah, that's 3-4. They skipped 3-3. 3-4 and 3-5. Then we're done with chapter 3. Next week we're looking at chapter 4 already. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you do want to make sure you're progressively doing this work and knocking this stuff out, because if we're not careful, and then check this out, chapter 4 is only 3 sections. It's 4-1 through 4-3. So it's like this stuff is not that heavy that we're going to sit on it, but I'll do my best to pace it out so that we're not moving too fast. But like I said, if you're not careful, we'll be in chapter 5 and you may not even start chapter 1 yet. So you got to make sure that you do give them the stuff and knock it out. On test, you get 2 attempts. With the first tip not good, still, yep, you can take it on, yep, retake it. It's not a problem. I take the highest of your test grades. So I don't average them together or anything. I take the highest of your test grade. I don't even look at the lowest one. Even in that, if you messed up horribly on the first attempt and you wondered if you can take another shot, get another shot at it, and you used up your 2 attempts, just email me. It's not that big a deal. I'm here to work with anybody that want to put the work in. So, all right, I think that's all I have. As I go over my list, any questions, questions, concerns, comments? Just trying to make sure we covered everything. Like I said, as far as class, we're going to meet each day. If you have a problem with meeting, once again, the lectures will be recorded. Think I covered everything I wanted to cover. See somebody in the chat. Okay, good question. Where do you get access to the Zoom recordings? What's going to happen is I'm going to record them, then I'm going to convert them to YouTube link, and then I'll email you guys the link. And so you'll have an actual email that will have the links for that week. And then once again, if you don't see the email, check Canvas announcements. It'll be in there as well. So it'll be archived there as well. All right, so it'll be an actual YouTube video. All right. Anything else? Anybody else? Everybody good? Everybody straight? All right. So I look forward to having a great semester with you guys. As always, stay safe. The reason why we're doing class this way, is in order to stay safe. In chapters lectures, are we going to go over all sections in the chapter, or the section will be picked out? Okay. So as far as lectures, yes, every section you see in Math Lab, we're going to discuss. So every section. So if you want to know what section specifically we're going to talk about, just like I was mentioning in chapter 3, we skipped 3.3. But if you look at Math Lab, it'll go 3.1, 3.2, 3.4, 3.5. So it will skip 3.3 in Math Lab as well. So, yep. And then also, I didn't mention that your syllabus will be posted. I need to update it for this semester, but it will be posted. I remember I have to set my office hours, so I want to put office hours in there. So that updated syllabus will be, if you look in there in Math Lab right now, I'll show you that real quick since I'm talking about it. There should be an old syllabus right here. So it's all the same content if you just want to see it, but I just need to update. I think that one I was running late that semester, so I didn't put the office hours, but I'll put office hours right here, updated. Notice it says summer semester, all the good stuff like that. So it's an old syllabus. All right. Anything else? Anybody else? Everybody good? All right. So once again, look forward to having a great semester.
I have a question.
Okay, what you got?
So when I went to the access code and I typed it in, it said that it was invalid and I have to call 24-hour tech. So should I just do the $75 or should I call that number?
Hold on. So now you're talking about access code, not my course ID, right?
The access code.
Okay. Where'd you get the access code from?
When I went to register now, it gave me the option to do access code or $75, and I pressed the access code and it gave me the access code.
Okay.
But when I typed the access code in, it said non-valid.
Now
24-hour tech.
Yeah, you may have, I don't know what they gave you, but that wasn't the access code to get access to the course. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's why it was invalid, because that's not really the access code. The access code will be something that you will purchase from outside source, whether it be Barnes and Nobles, TCC's bookstore, or something like that. And they, when you purchase the book,
so
or
you can't
purchase
purchase it through Math Lab. You have to go to Barnes and Noble.
Well, that's what I was about to get to. So now if you want to purchase it through Math Lab, that's the $75 option that you saw. So now they won't give you an access code. They would just give you access. You're already here, so they just give you access. So yeah. So those are the same.
I know you probably this is a weird question, but what do you think I should do? Do the 75 or Barnes and Noble?
Do you pay for it with your financial aid?
No, I pay it by myself.
Pay 75. It's gonna be a little cheaper through Pearson itself. It'll be cheaper. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Not a problem. Not a problem. Anything else? Anybody else? Everybody good?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I have a couple of questions I'm not sure of. I transferred from another community college. I transferred from Thomas Nelson to Tidewater recently, and I first enrolled in your class this semester, but this is kind of new. I felt like there's some new things I'm not sure of because I just transferred out to Water. And
one second, let's do this. I'm gonna get you to hold on for a second, and I'm gonna talk to you, and let me let everybody else go.
Okay.
And then I'll talk to you after class. Let's do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So he had a personal question, so I'll address his. Any more class questions? Everybody good before we close out? Everybody straight?
I have a
Oh,
question.
yes,
So we do have class on Wednesday as well, right? For the
yes,
definitions. Okay,
yes.
thank you.
hmm
Thank
Yep,
you.
yep. So we're gonna just talk a little bit about chapter 2 on next class. And I think Monday we're off, aren't we? I think Monday we're off. Anyway, if I see that, I'll just shoot you guys an email. But yep, next class we will have class and just talk a little bit about. It'll be a short class because it's just a little bit about chapter 2. But really, this week is really about chapter 1, chapter 2. You guys getting into your definitions and stuff like that. All right. Anybody else? Anybody good?
All right.
All right. So I'm going to talk to Mr. Alex. But other than that, if you guys are good, have a great day. I will see you on Wednesday.
Have a good one.
Thanks. You do the same. All right.